Hello? Can you hear me? So good. These days I like to say rich rising. So rich afternoon to everyone. And this is Ejewa and welcome to the Woke Africa show. Okay, so now I have something to talk to you about. That's why I'm here at this moment. Hold on for 1 second. So water, okay. I've been thinking about this and I've been wanting to talk to you about it because it's something that I have come to discover really works and is amazing indeed. Okay, so my topic is water. Water as a medium of communication or a medium of prayer. And this is something that is so profound, and I'm so glad that I can talk to you guys about it. Well, so as you can see, I'm not if you're going to go script. I'm just going to go. As you can see, water is part of, you know, the ingredients. Anything, wherever life has begun, there's water. In fact, even with NASA and all these scientific communities trying to find life on other planets or trying to see if there's anyone out there, their go-to is to try and find out if there is life, water. Okay, water on that planet. So if they found water on a planet, if they found evidence of water on the planet, then definitely they can say that there's a possibility of life. So one, water is part of the building blocks of life. Okay, so water is a life giver. It is not by accident that water is a life giver. Secondly, water is actually a living, breathing thing with a consciousness. Water has consciousness. Like a lot of people consume water day in, day out, and they don't even know that it is this majestic, life giving, life saving nature, an element of nature. So, water in itself, as it is, how much do we know about water? Like, how we drink water every day, we use it in washing our clothing, we use it to, we use water as part of formulating our medicines, as part of our cooking. Like, we live within water. If you go to space, like if you experience, if you're someone who follows science fiction, you come to realize that water is like the most important commodity, if not is one of the most important, if not the most important one in the solar system out there. Okay, in the formation of galaxies, and water is just has been a constant. And what, how would I even say, put it, how have we not come to the realization we treat water like it is something that is dead? We treat water without regard. Like most, even the way water is transferred to our houses, we treat water in such a way without respect. You don't regard it as something that is alive. But indeed, water is alive. Now, if you would remember in the Bible, it talks about, there's a verse that says that out of thy belly flows rivers of living water. So even in the Christian Bible, in the Old Testament, it talks about it gives credence to the fact that water is living and water is alive. So why am I saying all these things? Water, if water is responsible in this dimension for life in this dimension, then water is responsible you can say that water is responsible for life in other dimensions. Water is an element that transcends dimensions. Water is an element that exists. And do you know that water, the amount of water on our planet can actually finish? So if the amount of water on our planet can finish, then it means that the water that we are drinking, that is being recycled, okay, is evaporating from the ocean, falling back as rain into rivers for fresh water, going back into the ocean and coming back as fresh water. That cycle is the same water that has been on the planet, the same water that supports life, is the same water. So water, as you can say, if you take out water that has evaporated into space, okay, because of the sun activities, it's the same water that has been here. It's the same water that your ancestors drank. It's the same water that kept civilization going. Okay, so you can say that water is one of the oldest elements on this planet, and it transcends dimensions, it transcends worlds. So the water on this planet, when it becomes solid, it's ice. When it's liquid, it's water, and we drink it. Do you know that it has a conscience? And water is a medium of information storage because it can take information. Water actually contains information. And how do you know water contains information? It's because when you freeze water, okay, at a certain point, when you freeze water, and water, okay, let me explain this. Water, because water is a living thing, it can also die. So when you freeze water that is alive, and when you freeze water that is dead, you actually see different shapes in the crystals that they make. Now, how do you know water that is living and water that is dead? If you fetch water from a flowing stream or from a spring and you freeze it, the crystals that they form is different from when you take water from the tap or when you or a stagnant water. When you take and you freeze those and you look at their crystals with a microscope, you can actually see the shape. The living water has a different shape, as compared to dead water. And water is alive when it is flowing. Flowing water is living water. Okay? There's a reason why when you fetch water into something for too long, it starts to smell. Because when water is kept stagnant for too long, it can get sick and it can die. Yeah, I'm telling you this, like, literally, guys. You have to look this up. So because water is this thing that we haven't taken our time to study, to get to know, and to come to appreciate, we don't even understand that the information that we need to be inspired with as a people can be found in water because water transcends time as well. It is the same water our ancestors drank. It's the same water that has given life to trees, to animals, to us, to I don't even know what else water does. Like, it's the same water that how I don't even know how to say it. It's the same water healing for our body. It is said that the best detox medicine is drinking enough water. So water is such an important part of our everyday lives. Why do you think it is not an important part of life, the state of existence after this physical plane, after this physical frequency? How do you know, and how are we so arrogant to think that water is what is water isn't what is needed to actually speak to our ancestors, to transcend dimensions, to contact the spirit world? Water makes up 70% of our body, if not more. Water makes up 70% of this planet surface, if not more. Water is the thing that incubates life. Water has been and will be. So all you awoken kings and queens, you have to start looking at the elements that has been here before and will for many ages be here. You have to start looking at the benefits that water as a living thing, the benefits that it has to offer, the kind of help, the kind of information that water can carry with it and transcend through worlds, through dimensions. Some people have even come to know this to the extent that they actually speak to water in so many cultures. In the Akan traditional culture, it is believed that you can offer water to the ancestors and offer a prayer through that. So you can just fetch water and pour it as you speak to the water. You speak to the water and pour it as libation. You speak to water and pour it as libation, as a means of communication with our ancestors. Guys, we have the most potent medium of communication with ancestors, and we're like, we don't look at our surroundings enough. We talk about the things we don't have. We focus on what we cannot do more than what we can do. Water is alive, guys. Water has a conscience. It has how do you call it? It has it has consciousness. Water has consciousness. That is why it communicates. Put water in a round bottle, it takes the shape of that bottle. Put water in a square bottle, it takes the shape of that bottle. Water is transcendent. It is conformative. It works with you. When water evaporates as vapor, do you even know what kind of portals water can travel through? Do we even know? This thing we take for granted as water in our kitchen, in our taps, in our everyday life. It is golden. It is a medium. Water is a medium right there. You know what, guys? I'm going to, before I leave, okay, and I'm going to leave soon because I'm using my break to come to you. So before I leave, I'm going to leave you an assignment, okay? Why don't you go back to the good books? Like, why don't you go back to the Old Testament and kind of like understand how water has been used, okay? If you come to understand in history how water has been used, spiritually, how water has been used, it is the silent, it's the silent binoculars of the spirit world. It's even to be, look, even to be reborn into the Jesus thing and be born again, you have to be immersed in water. Why have so many of us why have so many of us not you know been in touch with this? Why have so many of us not been in touch with this? So if you haven't ever tried communicating with the ancestors through water, you should try it. Get a bowl of living water, okay? Any water, and speak your heart out. Speak your heart out. Call out to your good ancestors. Call out to the Most High. Call out to the universe. And ask the water to send your prayer to your spiritual team. Ask water to send your prayer to your spiritual team that can help you achieve your purpose for coming onto this earth. Because you know what? If water is anything that I have come to respect and I have come to revere and I have come to understand, you would understand that water can carry so much information back to your source. We've all been here before. So if you need the help to be able to remember who you are, to be able to contribute your part, to be able to solve the mystery of your existence on this plane, oh, I believe water can help you do that. Yes. Thank you very much. Quincy says water is a medium of communication. Absolutely. Absolutely, it is. Medina says water is 75% of earth. Thank you so much for that contribution. Why have we not looked at this element differently? Why have we not? It is 75% of the human body. Why have we not taken a keen look at this very important? Look, just recently, they're trying to list water on the stock exchange. Very soon, you cannot even be able to permitted to drill water from your well. Water is essential to human life. Water should not be sold. Water should not be caged. It should not be quarantined. So why is the 1% racing towards this? We need to empower ourselves by understanding the elements that are important to our independence, to our freedom, to our rise, and to our prosperity. And I think water will get you right back to your source. It will link you right back to your source. So when you speak to water, when you speak to water as though you're speaking directly to whoever it is that you're praying to yourself. You can speak to water to send information to your DNA. Water is a medium of communication. It is alive. That is the difference. It is conscious. Water has consciousness. It is alive. I've seen a lot of rivers killed. I've seen a lot of rivers dry up when it's attacked by chemicals and it's attacked by all these mining. So I want to leave this with you. Try praying with water. Try speaking to water and pouring it in the soil. Combine the 4 elements and you'll be amazed. Thank you so much, guys. Hit the like button and subscribe if you have enjoyed this message. Remember, Ubuntu, I am because we are. Stay glorified.